Hi, friends. Today I have a new story for you. I hope you enjoy it. I should have known something was wrong when my mom called. Her voice sounded overly sweet, and I felt uneasy right away. Declan, darling, she said in a slow, sugary tone. Your father and I were thinking. It's been so long since we had a nice family vacation, just the four of us. Wouldn't that be lovely? A vacation with just us? I knew what that really meant. Still, I paused. My younger brother Orson was only 20 and still easily influenced by them. If I said no, they'd guilt him into going alone, and he wouldn't know how to handle them. So, even though I knew better, I said yes. I booked the flights, first class, because my mom insisted. I got us a suite at a 5-star resort. I even arranged all the transportation. Of course, they didn't ask about the cost. And they didn't offer to pay for anything. The trip started just as I expected. My mom loved the luxury. My dad acted like a king, bossing everyone around. Orson stayed quiet, glued to his phone, probably already regretting it. Then came the second night. That's when everything changed. We were having dinner at a fancy oceanfront restaurant. The candlelight flickered over our wine glasses. My mom, wearing diamonds I didn't even know she had, smiled at me as she cut into her expensive steak. This is exactly what we needed, she said happily. Some quality family time. I was about to answer, but my dad spoke first. By the way, Declan, we booked a boat tour for tomorrow. You'll pay for that, of course. It wasn't a question. It never was. Something inside me snapped. Have either of you ever thought about paying for something yourselves? My mom looked surprised, pretending she didn't understand. Oh, Declan, don't be so dramatic. We raised you. Isn't it fair that you take care of us now? I laughed bitterly. Take care of you? You mean pay for your expensive trips? My dad gave me a hard look. You owe us for everything we've done for you. I stood up and pushed my chair back. I don't owe you anything. Orson looked up for the first time, and for a moment, I saw something new in his eyes, maybe understanding. The next morning, everything was quiet. No texts. No calls. Just the sound of waves outside. Something felt wrong. Still half asleep, I reached for my wallet. But it wasn't there. I sat up quickly and looked around. My suitcase was untouched. My phone was still there. But my wallet was gone. I didn't have to guess what happened. I already knew. I quickly threw on a shirt and rushed out of my room, heading straight to my parents' suite. Their door was open just a little, and I could hear their voices clearly. Just a few things, my mom said. He won't even notice. Of course not, my dad replied. He always spends so much. It's time we got some of it. I walked in. Got your share of what? They froze. My mom, holding a receipt, turned around slowly, trying to act calm. Oh, Declan, you're up early. I held out my hand. Give it back. My dad didn't even try to hide it. He threw my wallet onto the bed like it didn't matter. Don't be so sensitive. We just borrowed it. I picked it up and opened it. My credit card was gone. My jaw clenched. Where is it? My mom waved her hand. We used it to pay the hotel bill. You would have paid anyway. I laughed, cold and bitter. Without asking me first? That's stealing. She rolled her eyes. Don't be dramatic. I didn't answer. I pulled out my phone, opened my bank app, and canceled the card. My dad frowned. What are you doing? Stopping you from stealing anything else. Right then, someone knocked at the door. The hotel manager stood there with 2 staff members. He looked polite but serious. Mr. and Mrs. Calloway, he said, looking at my parents, your payment for the suite didn't go through. My mom went pale. My dad stiffened. That's impossible. The manager checked his tablet. The card was just canceled. Then he looked at me and understood. I crossed my arms. Looks like you'll have to pay for yourselves this time. For the first time, my parents looked scared. My mom turned to me, her voice suddenly soft and fake sweet. Declan, be reasonable. Just turn the card back on for now. We'll figure it out later. I smiled. No. The manager cleared his throat. If payment isn't made, we'll have to ask you to leave the room. My dad looked furious. This is insane. Do you know who I am? Yes, sir, the manager said calmly. You're a guest who hasn't paid. My parents were finally getting a taste of what it's like to have no control. The mood in the hotel lobby was tense. My parents stood at the front desk, faces red, arguing with the manager, who stayed calm. The other hotel staff avoided looking at them, pretending to stay busy. A few guests nearby watched with interest. This is ridiculous, my dad yelled, slamming his hand on the counter. We've been here for days. You can't treat us like criminals. The manager stayed polite. Sir, we're just following the rules. The card was declined. Unless you provide another one. My mom turned to me, looking both angry and desperate. Declan, enough. Fix this. Now. I folded my arms. Fix what? The part where you stole from me? Or the part where you thought I'd just let it happen? You're our son, she whispered sharply. It's your job to help your parents. Help. I gave a short, dry laugh. You mean pay for everything without being asked? You tricked me into coming here just so you could use me like an ATM. Orson stood beside me, looking unsure. I glanced at him, wondering what he was thinking. He'd always been the quiet one, the one who followed their lead. But today I noticed something different in him. Something was changing. My dad turned on him. And you? Just standing there? You think this is funny? Orson hesitated, then stood up straight. No, he said calmly. But I think Declan's right. My dad's face went red with anger. Excuse me, Orson said, taking a deep breath. You've been treating Declan like a money machine for years. Acting like he owes you just because he exists. That's not right. My mom was shocked. My dad's face grew even darker, and his hands balled into fists. Then, in a burst of rage, he grabbed Orson's arm and pulled him forward. Don't talk back to me, he yelled. Before I could think, I rushed in. I grabbed my dad's wrist, pulling him away from Orson with more force than I meant. He stumbled back, furious. The hotel manager, who had been watching everything, raised a hand to signal the security guard. That's enough, the manager said firmly. Sir, you need to leave the premises. Now. My dad glared at me and Orson, his anger burning. My mom pulled on his arm, looking pale. Let's go, she said quietly. We'll deal with this later. No, I said, stepping closer. There is no later. I'm done. I turned to Orson. Are you coming? For the first time, Orson didn't hesitate. Yeah. And just like that, we walked away, leaving our parents behind, making excuses, trying to control everything, and finally facing the consequences of their greed. The next morning, I got a notification from my bank while I was drinking coffee. Fraud alert. Suspicious credit application detected in your name. My heart sank. I immediately called the bank. A robotic voice asked me security questions, then transferred me to a representative. Mr. Caldwell, the banker said, we saw an attempt to open a new credit card under your name today. The details didn't match, so we flagged it. I clenched my jaw. Who applied? Someone claiming to be your parent, the banker said carefully. They used your social security number, but the contact information didn't match. My blood ran cold. Of course. My parents, desperate after the hotel situation, tried to commit fraud. Decline it. Freeze my credit. Immediately. Got it. We'll report this as identity theft. I hung up, my heart racing, and looked at Orson. He frowned. They wouldn't. They already did, I said, tossing my phone onto the table. They tried to steal my identity. Orson's face grew dark. They've really hit rock bottom. I sighed. No, Orson. They haven't hit rock bottom yet. But they're about to. That night, the phone rang. A deep voice came through. Mr. Caldwell, your parents have been arrested. I sat up in bed, shocked. For what? Fraud. Identity theft. They were caught trying to steal hotel towels, bathrobes, and slippers. I almost laughed. This is how it ended, not with some big plan, but with them trying to sneak stolen towels into their bags. Orson, sitting beside me, rubbed his face. They never learn. Days later, we saw them leaving the courthouse, handcuffed, humiliated. My mom saw us and screamed, "Declan, we're your parents. Help us." My dad sneered at us. "You think you're better than us?" I met his angry stare.
No.
But I'm free. Orson and I walked away, leaving them to face the consequences of their actions. Friends, what do you think of this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Would you like more stories? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any videos.
See you tomorrow.